TAG Heuer S.A. is a Swiss manufacturing company that designs, manufactures and markets watches and fashion accessories as well as eyewear and mobile phones manufactured under license by other companies and carrying the TAG Heuer brand name. TAG Heuer began as and Manufaktur Heuer AG, founded in 1860 by Edouard Heuer in Saint-Imier, Switzerland. In 1985 TAG Group purchased a majority stake in the company, forming TAG Heuer. In 1999 French luxury goods conglomerate LVMH bought out nearly 100% of the Swiss company. The name TAG Heuer combines the initials of Techniques Avant-Garde and the founder's surname. History. TAG Heuer is based in Le Chaux-de-Fonds, Switzerland and is led by President and CEO Jean-Claude Biver. Jacques Heuer, the great-grandson of the founder, is the honorary chairman. TAG Heuer maintains a watchmaking workshop in Cornwall, Switzerland and a watchmaking factory in Le Chaux-de-Fonds, Switzerland. The TAG Heuer slogan is Swiss avant-garde since 1860. 1860 through 1880s. TAG Heuer traces its roots to 1860 when Edouard Heuer founded and Manufaktur Heuer AG in Saint-Imier, Switzerland. Edouard Heuer patented his first chronograph in 1882 and in 1887 patented an oscillating pinion, still used by major watchmakers of mechanical chronographs. 1910s. In 1911, Heuer received a patent for the time of trip, the first dashboard chronograph, designed for use in automobiles and aircraft. Two large hands mounted from the center pinion indicate the time of day, as on a traditional clock. A small pair of hands, mounted at the top of the dial, indicates the duration of the trip. A top-mounted crown allows the user to set the time. A button mounted in the crown operates the start, stop, reset functions of the duration of trip counter. Heuer introduced its first wrist chronograph in 1914. The crown was at the 12 o'clock position, as these first wrist chronographs were adapted from pocket chronographs. In 1916, Heuer introduced the micrograph, the first stopwatch accurate to 1/100th of a second. This model was soon followed by the semicrograph, a stopwatch that offered 1/50th of a second timing, as well as a split-second function. 1930s and 1940s. In 1933, Heuer introduced the Autavia, a dashboard timer used for automobiles and aviation. The companion, Heuer, was a clock that could run for 8 days without being wound. Over the period from 1935 through the early 1940s, Heuer manufactured chronographs for pilots in the Luftwaffe, known as Flieger chronographs. The earlier version featured a hinged back case and one pusher. The later version had a snap-back case and added a second pusher. All these Flieger chronographs had 2 registers, with a capacity of 30 minutes. In the mid-1940s, Heuer expanded its line of chronographs to include both 2- and 3-register models, as well as a 3-register chronograph that included a full calendar function. As the highest development of Heuer's chronographs, these triple calendar chronographs were offered in stainless steel, 14-karat gold, 18 and 22-karat gold cases. Dial colors were white, black, and copper. 1950s. In the early 1950s, Heuer produced watches for the American retailer Abercrombie & Amp. Fitch. The Seafarer and Autograph were unique chronographs produced by Heuer to be sold by Abercrombie & Amp. Fitch. The Seafarers had special dials, with blue, green and yellow patterns, that showed the high and low tides. This dial could also be used to track the phases of the moon. Heuer produced a version of the Seafarer for sale under the Heuer name, with this model called the Myriography. The Autograph was produced in 1953 and 1954, and featured a tachymeter scale on the dial and a hand that could be preset to a specific point on the scale. This allowed a rally driver and navigator to determine whether the car was achieving the desired pace over a measured mile. Advertisements and literature also pointed out that this hand could be rotated to count golf scores or other events. Auto dashboard timers. From 1911, Heuer manufactured timepieces to be mounted on the dashboards of automobiles, aircraft and boats. These clocks and timers included a variety of models, designed to address specific needs of races and rallyists. In 1958, Heuer introduced a new line of dashboard timepieces, which included the Master Time, the Monte Carlo, the Super Ottavia, Sebring and Auto Rally. Heuer continued to manufacture these dashboard timepieces into the 1980s, at which time they were discontinued. Heuer also introduced timing devices for ski and motor racing events, including Formula One. 1960s. From the 1950s to the 1970s, Heuers were popular watches among automobile racers, both professionals and amateurs. Heuer was a leading producer of stopwatches and timing equipment, based on the volume of its sales, so it was only natural that races, the crewers and event sponsors began to wear Heuer's chronographs. Special versions of Heuer chronographs were produced with logos of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as well as the names or logos of racing teams as sponsors. In 1962, Heuer became the first Swiss watchmaker in space. John Glenn wore a Heuer stopwatch when he piloted the Mercury Atlas 6 spacecraft on the first U.S. manned spaceflight to orbit the Earth. This stopwatch was the backup clock for the mission and was started manually by Glenn 20 seconds into the flight. It is currently on display at the San Diego Air and Space Museum. The Ottavia chronograph was introduced in 1962 and featured a rotating bezel marked in either hours, minutes, decimal minutes or with a tachymeter scale. All manual wind Ottavias from the 1960s had a black dial with white registers. Early cases had a screwback and later models had snapbacks. The Ottavia name had previously been used on Heuer's dashboard timers. The Carrera chronograph, designed by Jack Heuer, was introduced in 1963. The Carrera had a very simple design, with only the registers and applied markers on the dial. The fixed inner bezel is divided into 1/5 second increments. The 1960s Carreras were available with a variety of dials, including all black white registers on a black dial, and black registers on a black dial. A 3-register, triple calendar version of the Carrera was introduced around 1968. Most of Heuer chronographs from this period, including the Ottavias and Carreras, used movements manufactured by Valjoux, including the Valjoux 72 movement and the Valjoux 92 movement. The Valjoux 72 movement utilized a tricompax design, with 3 registers on the dial, 1 register for the chronograph hours, 1 register for the chronograph minutes, and a 3rd register for a continuously running second hand. The second hand for the chronograph was mounted on the center pinion, along with the time of day hands. Heuer acquired the Leonidas brand in the early 1960s, with the combined company marketing watches under the Heuer-Leonidas name. One of the designs that Heuer acquired from Leonidas was the Bundeswehr chronograph used by the German Air Force. These BWs feature a flyback mechanism, so that when the chronograph is reset to 0, it immediately begins running again, to time the next segment or event. Automatic chronographs. In the mid-1960s, Heuer partnered with Breitling and Hamilton to introduce an automatic chronograph. These projects were conducted in secret, as none of the competitors wanted the other companies to be aware of their efforts. Heuer Breitling Hamilton held press conferences in Geneva and New York on the 3rd of March 1969 to show the new lines of chronographs. Heuer's first automatic chronographs were the Autavia, Carrera and Monaco. These were powered by the Cal 11 and Cal 12 movements, Cal 14 movement and the Cal 15 movement. The winding crown was on the left, with the pushes for the chronograph on the right. The earliest of Heuer's Cal 11 chronographs were named Chronomatic. In the early 1970s, Heuer expanded its line of automatic chronographs to include the Daytona, Montreal, Silverstone, Calculator, Monza and Diorama models, all powered by the Caliber 11 movement. 1970s. In 1975, Heuer introduced the Chronosplit, a digital chronograph with dual LED and LCD displays. Later versions featured two LCD displays. Heuer began using the Valjoux 7750 movement in its automatic chronographs with the Kentucky and Pasadena models. The Valjoux 7750 movement was a 3-register chronograph that also offered day-date windows. In the mid-1970s, Heuer introduced a series of chronographs powered by the LeMania 5100 movement. The LeMania 5100 movements have the minute hand for the chronograph on the center pinion, greatly improving legibility. The LeMania 5100 movement is considered very rugged and has been used in a variety of chronographs issued to military pilots. There are 10 models of Heuer chronographs powered by the LeMania 5100, reference 510.500, 510.501, 510.502, 510.503, 510.511, 510.523, as well as models with the names Silverstone and Cortina. The reference 510.543 was made for the AMA and a special edition was made for Audi Sport. 1980 present. TAG Heuer formed in 1985 when TAG, manufacturers of high-tech items such as ceramic turbochargers for Formula One cars, acquired Heuer. In 1999, TAG Heuer accepted a bid from LVMH Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton SA of SWFR 1.15 billion, contingent upon a transfer of 50.1% of stocks. In 2010, TAG Heuer introduced the pendulum concept, the first magnetic oscillator without hairspring capable of providing restoring torque comparable to that of hairspring. In 2013, TAG Heuer celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Carrera, the racing-inspired chronograph that is a key part of the TAG Heuer range today. There have been 10 generations of Carrera since its introduction, with models launched in every decade since 1963. Products. Watches. TAG Heuer's current lines include Formula One, Aquaracer, Link, Carrera, Monaco, Connected, and Grand Carrera. TAG Heuer, in keeping with its image as a luxury brand with an innovative spirit, has long-standing links with the world of sport and Hollywood. TAG Heuer has been the official timekeeper of the 3 Summer Olympic Games of the 1920s, the Skiing World Championships, the Formula One World Championships, and has developed a watch for the McLaren F1 team. The brand has also had a long list of sports and Hollywood ambassadors. Some of the more recently announced models include the Monaco V4, the Carrera Caliber 360 and the Monaco 69. London-based Christoph Belling has been the lead designer for TAG Heuer since 2004. The collaboration has resulted in some of the brand's most celebrated pieces, including the world's fastest chronograph, the Microgirder 1 2000, launched in 2012. Many TAG Heuer watches feature chronographs. In January 2011, TAG Heuer announced the new Carrera Micrograph, the first TAG Heuer to use the in-house micrograph movement, which is accurate to 1/100th of a second. Additionally, TAG Heuer has also released the limited edition Carrera MP412C to commemorate the launch of the McLaren MP412C supercar. TAG Heuer has been a partner of the McLaren F1 team for over 26 years. At the Basel 2011 show in March 2011, TAG Heuer announced the Microtimer Flying 1000, a concept mechanical watch capable of accuracy of 1/1000th of a second, 10 times faster than the micrograph. This mark was superseded in January 2012 with the microgirder model, precise to 5/10,000ths of a second. Eyewear, mobile phones, fashion accessories. Mares, France-based group logo manufactures TAG Heuer branded eyewear under a license acquired in 2002. Paris, France-based Modlabs Group manufactures TAG Heuer branded mobile phone under license. Modlabs acquired the license in late 2007 and marketed the first TAG Heuer branded mobile phone in late 2008. The company also markets a line of men's accessories including wallets, belts, bags, jackets, bracelets and cuff links. Endorsements. TAG Heuer has paid numerous celebrities to endorse its products, including Tom Brady, Ayrton Senna, Kevin Richardson, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jessica Michabata, Tiger Woods, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Sarah Fisher, Chenda Ominga, E.M. Tang, Jeff Gordon, Maria Sharapova, Jeremy Lin, Joan Pablo Montoya, Kimi Raikkonen, Uma Thurman, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Therese Johaug, Shah Rukh Khan, Priyanka Chopra, Cameron Diaz, Steve McQueen, Jotaro Kujo, Walter White and Li Yifeng. Steve McQueen wore a blue Monaco in the 1971 movie Le Mans, and Swiss Formula One star Josie Fett customarily wore a white-dialed Autavia with black registers. In 1974, Hugh Richardson produced a special version of the black-dialed Autavia that was offered by the Viceroy Cigarette Company for $88. This version of the Autavia was called the Viceroy, and advertisements for this promotion featured racer Parnelli Jones. Heuer was the official timepiece of the Ferrari F1 team in the 1970s and McLaren from the 1980s up until 2015. Starting in 2016, the Red Bull Racing Formula One team runs Renault engines branded as TAG Heuer, and TAG Heuer's sponsorship appears on the car near the engine. Awards. In 2007, TAG Heuer won the IF Product Design Award for its Monaco Caliber 360 LS concept chronograph. The award was given away by the International Forum Design Hanover GmbH, held in Hanover, Germany. The watch received the award in the leisure lifestyle category. It was chosen among more than 2,200 timepieces presented by watchmakers from 35 countries. TAG Heuer received the IF Product Design Award for the second time in 2 years. In 2006, another TAG Heuer watch, entitled Professional Golf Watch, won in the same leisure lifestyle category. The design of the professional golf watch was developed with Tiger Woods. In 2010, the Carrera 1887 won Le Petit Aiguille Award at the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève. Motorsport. Since 2016, TAG Heuer has formed a partnership with the Red Bull Racing Formula One team. The partnership includes Red Bull running TAG Heuer branded power units. The TAG Group was involved in Formula One racing in the 1980s too, but then just as TAG. Formula One power unit results *season still in progress.